was told, in victory we win, in victory we win.
Hey guys, it's your girl Latoya Renee, and you're tuning into season 3 of Sister Can We Talk. This show is an empowerment show that allows us to share each other's testimonies, to empower, to uplift, and motivate us to believe in the impossible. Today I have a wonderful guest in the building, in the studio. Her name is Minister Cheryl Harris. Let's give it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
I am so honored and glad that you're here to tell your testimony. Your testimony is a testimony of going through the process and waiting on God when He tells you to wait.
Yes, it is. And waiting is not the easiest thing for most people.
Yes. So let's start off with your testimony as you was growing up and your mom and all that stuff.
Okay. My mother was a single parent because my dad was in the military.
Mm-hmm.
So she left him when I was little to come back home to Florida because family was here.
Yeah.
And so I was kind of shy. You couldn't tell it because I was a talkative student. That's what I got in trouble for.
Yeah.
But I was shy, especially if it came to being out in front of people. That was not.
I don't see that now.
Look, God worked that out, okay? But I tried to be friendly with people, but you know, what a lot of us don't understand is that when you're chosen or called, even though you're trying to fit in, you don't
fit. Jesus.
You don't learn that until later.
Right.
But that's what I realized later in life, that
Right.
I just didn't fit
Right.
because I was called out to be different.
Yes.
And so going through school and going to college, and I was in my first year, my mom died suddenly.
Yeah.
And so I was 18 and I left college to raise my younger sister and brother, who were 9 and 10.
Wow.
And so, you know, that was extremely difficult, but in the midst of all of that, you make stupid choices.
I was going to say, you had a quote, you said, I made a lot of bad decisions because I was grieving the loss of my mother.
Well, I thought I could get back at her for leaving me, and I didn't get back at her.
Yeah, I got back at
me.
Right, in the process,
in the process. But in my book, I tell the story of, you know, looking for love in all the wrong people and places. And my book is called Single Ladies Get the Goods, Not the Garbage.
Yes.
Later people said you should have named it Get the Goods because it's good for men and women. But it tells about the process of waiting on God to get the goods. That's how you really get the goods. It's not about anything else, because a lot of times we're looking at the outside of how he looks or how she looks, you know. And I often tease the men when I'm talking to them. I said, you looking for 38, 28, 38, 40, you know, however you like it, you know, but it's about what is her character.
Right.
You know, does she like to cook and you like to eat?
Right.
Does she know how to cook?
Right.
Is that a deal breaker if she
My question would be, because a lot of us, we have issues in the process of waiting.
Absolutely.
We think the waiting is God telling us, you said it's delayed, you know? And sometimes we think it's the worst thing ever because, you know, we are a microwave kind of generation.
Absolutely.
And so when it's waiting, it's like a cuss word. So what are the things that you went through in your waiting?
Okay. Like you said, the waiting is the hardest part of the process, but the waiting is preparation time.
Yes.
Because let's say you were in a relationship before and that didn't work out, you still have some hurt, some issues on the inside. The waiting time is your healing time.
Yes.
Healing, being healed from the hurt and the wounds of the past. Because if you're not healed and delivered from that, you take it out on the next person.
It's a repeating cycle.
Exactly. And there are triggers because maybe that person does something that's not really a bad thing, but it's a trigger
for you
and a reminder of what the other person did. And then, you blow up at the person and they're going, what did I do?
Right.
It's because there's still some issues on the inside. So actually the waiting is to help us be prepared for the one.
Yes.
If we wait. Now, if we go ahead of God, and like I myself tried to be his apprentice, I figured he was.
You need my help.
Look,
you need help.
God is so busy, all these other people, let me assist you.
Right.
Yeah, I assisted myself in a deep
Right.
And then when we mess it up, then we want to say, God, can you help me?
Right.
All we have to do is wait. You can even begin to move in faith and write down what you desire, but always say, God, give me the person you have for me. Because I might look at him and he's 6 feet tall and I'm like, yeah, that's it. But
God sees what you don't see.
He sees into the future. Some people are great actors and pretenders, and they treat you one way, and after the ink is signed, there's a total different person that appears. So the waiting is a must. Also, it helps you to find out who you are. Right. Because sometimes in relationships, we're so busy trying to prove to the other person that we're worth it.
Yes.
So we change ourselves.
Oh, God. Yes.
And until you lose yourself.
Yes.
So it's important to never lose yourself. If the person doesn't like it, he's starting to have, or she's starting to have all this long list of things that they don't like, they're not it.
Right. I have a question for you though. So what would you say to that person that was in a depression state? Because in our waiting, sometimes we can become depressed.
Absolutely. And I definitely suffered severe depression. And the thing is, don't try to do this alone. You need real friends, not people who pretend to be your friends. You need some good, solid friends, godly advice. Stay connected to church if you're in church. But if you're not, get connected to God, because He is the ultimate answer that brings you peace in the midst of that. And in my book, I share how I was in such deep depression. Some people have great families who are there and they surround them. If you have a great family that is there for you, don't pull back and stay to yourself. You don't want people in your business.
Oh, God.
You don't want them to know what's going on.
Oh, Jesus.
And one of the worst things, especially for some of us, we don't like counseling. We won't go get help, and we need it. And
that's black folks.
I was trying to be nice by saying, but here's the thing. You need counseling. The thing that saved me, because the depression had gotten so bad until I stayed in the house. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything. But I had neighbors that
would come and see about
amazing.
You.
They saved my life and my children because they would come and take me to prayer. And her family, my neighbor's family, they were gospel singers, and they would sing and I would listen to the music. And then, she would come and talk to me or call me to the house and talk to me. But the depression was so bad that the enemy was trying to, and this is where he will take you, tell you to commit suicide. You're worth more dead than alive. You'll never amount to anything anyway, and nobody will miss you.
So the enemy tried to play.
Yes. Yes, and he will tell you how to do it. And he tried to tell me to, take some drugs, but the only thing I had in there was baby aspirin. That wasn't going to work. Then he said, cut your wrist. And I was like, no, that'll be messy and traumatic for my children.
But the kicker is, he's talking and you're talking back to him. You're kind of like negotiating on how to end your life.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And the final thing was, climb on the house, jump off the roof head first, and it'll be over.
Wow.
But God himself
I was going to say, what stopped you? Yes.
God himself, every time the enemy would say something, God would speak back to me, and he'd talk to me about my children.
Yes.
He would say, what about your children?
Yes.
And I said, well, they're cute kids. I had a reason for everything. But the one that got me was when he said, okay, so if you jump off the roof, remember the commercial where the lady is in a wheelchair and the lady said, oh, let me straighten your dress, because I have to put the belt on you in the wheelchair. But the reason she was in the wheelchair was because she didn't put the seatbelt on the car in the car.
Wow,
And so the Lord says, so if you jump off the roof and you don't die, he said, every day you're going to say what a stupid thing that was to do. And then how would I take care of my children?
Kids, right.
So I was like, okay, so that's not a good idea. So he said, you better straighten up or you on your way out. And so I tried to stay in the house, and my neighbor said, where you been? I said, what you mean where I been? He said, where you been? I said, I haven't been anywhere. He said, so you trying to tell me for 2 weeks, you and these children have been in the house with the doors closed, the curtains closed, and you just been here? I was like, yeah. And he said the most dreaded word, I'm going to tell Inez, which was his wife. Oh, Lord. And so he told her, he came back to the house, I'll keep the kids. Inez want to see you. She rebuked me sharply.
I was going to say, what was the most valuable thing someone said to you that brought you out of depression? Yeah. Well, what was their advice?
Yeah, she was saying, you are here pining away, but the person has moved on without you, and you want to give up on life. And so she was like, you better straighten up.
Yeah.
Or you on your way out. And the Lord had her to say to me, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And I ran home crying. She had no right to say that to me. Lord, it ain't right. But then it was true.
Yeah.
I had to reach down on the inside. And a lot of times when we're so depressed, we feel like we don't have anything else on the inside. But let me tell you, your life is worth living.
Yes.
You were born on purpose, with purpose. We get out of the will of God when we make a lot of these decisions ourselves because we thought we knew how to do it.
Right. Or you're trying to help
God.
the Lord.
We helping God, you know. And so what I have found is, had I killed myself, there are so many lives I have touched since still being alive.
Yes.
I have gone places that I would have never dreamed I could go. I have done some incredible, wonderful things that I never thought I would do.
Yes.
I've recorded a CD. I've traveled overseas. I'm married to the most amazing man.
I was going to ask you that since you said
Andrew
it.
Harris.
Since you introduced him, tell me about your Canaan, because you waited for him.
Oh yeah, look. After the merry-go-round, you think this one is it and that one is it, and they're asking you to marry them. If you don't have the peace of God, if all of the puzzle pieces don't fit, that's enough. One guy, oh, you my wife, I want to take you home to meet my mama. Sir, you don't stay on the job. You always hopping from job to job, and not only that, you hop from church to church. No, thank you. No, thank you. And also, ladies, and gentlemen. You want the man to bring all this stuff to the table. You want the woman to bring all this stuff to the table. But what are you bringing to the table?
Hello, somebody, say
No,
it.
you can't expect him or her to bring all this stuff to the table and you're bringing nothing.
Right.
It should be a balance right there. It doesn't mean he can't make more or she can't make more, but you should have the same ideals, communication. And my wonderful husband and I, you have to read the book to hear the whole story, but he knew me in high school, so actually were best friends. But I was such a tomboy.
Okay, wait a minute. You ain't gonna pass me by like that. So you guys met in high school.
Yes.
Then you went on to get married and stuff like that. And then how did you guys meet up again?
He actually didn't even live here anymore. This was a divine orchestration.
Yes.
He was living in New York. And came down on vacation for his nephew's graduation. I was going to my brother's graduation. And
it was the same graduation?
Same graduation. And the Lord orchestrated my steps because the person I went with and my sister, they left me because I had my youngest son with me.
Yeah.
So I'm walking in and I'm saying, God, where do I go? And I was trying to go left, but my body kept going straight.
Right.
So I went up the steps and one of the kids, I was working at a daycare, called my name.
Yeah.
And I waved and I was standing right in front of him. But we hadn't seen each other in 10 years.
That was a God moment.
Absolutely.
How crazy is that for both of you guys to be at the same exact graduation and then you looking up and he's right next to you?
No, I'm standing in front of him because I stopped.
Yeah.
And so I happened to look down and I realized I knew who he was and we were like, hey, But you got to get the book to get the whole details.
She's going to tell you a little
because,
bit.
Listen, he liked me in high school. I said he was good as a friend. Because he was so nice, so kind. But I was such a tomboy. And I didn't,
Oh my God, because that was my story too. Just telling my husband. I said, was I your ideal female to go to? And he was like, no, because you look kind of bougie, whatever. I said, well, you wasn't the thug or whatever that I was used to. You know what I'm saying? So as children, you want, if he's too nice or he's too, you know what I'm saying, then we don't. But God was like, no, this is your person.
Yes. Well, I didn't want anybody I could run over. Because I can be quite a handful.
As most of us are.
But God knew who I needed. And when you read the book and you just see how God worked the whole thing, because he was going back to New York.
Okay. I know you don't want people to know too much, but tell me about that, just a little bit. How he was going back to New York?
Because his job was there. He was on vacation. And he says this, I'm the girl of his dreams. And he said he felt compelled to ask me to marry him. So look, you got to get the book so y'all can fill in all those extra blanks.
Right.
But 37 years later, I love him. He's amazing. Treats me like a queen. I am so spoiled. I am. But so is he.
Yes.
We are the parents of 7 children.
Wow.
And he's just amazing.
Would you ever have thought, and all the stuff that you was going through before you met your husband, the depression and the attempts of suicide and the loss of your mother, did you ever think you would be in this moment right now?
Absolutely not. I thought I would never be happy again. And something that I said, and I laugh about it, and I know somebody else has felt this way too. And I said, God, I'm down so low, even you can't help me.
Oh, God.
So can you imagine being so depressed that you think God himself can't help you?
Right.
But that was how dark things look, because my mother had been the most positive influence.
Yes.
And now she was gone, and family members were saying mean, negative things. You'll never amount to anything. You'll never have anything. And the fact that my ex-husband had left me with 3 children.
Right.
So, it was a very depressing state. So when you don't have any family backup to help you through this. But you know what? I'm actually glad that I did not, because I wouldn't have the relationship that I have with God. Had all of these people, because your family and friends have their opinion of how you should handle situations. Girl, get on back out there. There's lots of fish in the sea, man. There's plenty of fish in the sea. Go on back out there. No, you need to heal first. Find yourself. Don't let anybody make you minimize who you are. Or you got to dumb down. You're a smart man or smart woman, and so you got to change your conversation for the people you're around. Because why are you trying to talk like? Just since you named black people, why are you trying to talk like white people? No, I don't talk like a white person. I speak like an intelligent African American. We are intelligent. We can speak well. We don't have to use all kind of slang and
ebonics or whatever.
And ladies and gentlemen, stop letting these men call you out your name.
Say that.
Animal, okay?
Say that.
You are a queen. You are royalty. It doesn't take a man to make you know you are a queen. You should already know that. I told my girls, you don't need a man to tell you that you're beautiful. When you wake up in the morning and you go look in the mirror, you say, Lord have mercy, God was showing out when he did all of this. Okay, you have to feel that about yourself. I didn't feel that. I didn't think I was pretty at all. Of course, after 37 years of hearing my husband say that all the time, I guess I should believe him by now.
You
and
should.
He can't believe that I didn't feel beautiful. Well, when kids are calling you ugly and all of these things, and then when my mom died and family was saying mean things, neighbors are saying mean things, I just didn't feel beautiful. And when my ex-husband left me, I felt like something was wrong with me. There is nothing wrong with you
at all.
Nothing. You were born on purpose, with purpose. You are beautifully designed by God himself. And so you are a person who is under construction, like the rest of us. We have not arrived. We are always evolving. From the time that my husband and I got married, and I call him the man beyond my dreams, because I could not have imagined a man would love me the way he does, treat me the way he does. I didn't feel like I deserved that. But you do deserve it. That is what God told the man to do, to love you as he loves himself. Now, if he's slapping himself around in the mirror, he's got issues. Run.
I was going to say run. Please don't
run. Listen, so he ought not, and she ought not, be putting her hand on you in violence in any kind of way. No pushing, no shoving. One wrong push, one wrong shove could be disastrous. So you don't deserve that. Saying abusive things. Abuse is in so many different forms. Before we leave, I have to say to the young women and young men, stop bringing these people into your safe space. Don't invite nobody to your house. Get to know them outside of your home. Meet in a public place. And if after you pay attention to their conversation, Pastor Kelvin Postel of the Greater Works Church says, and that's my pastor, he says, after the first several minutes, you will know what this person's intentions are. Are they always talking about themselves? They don't let you get a word in. Okay, they already selfish. They're self-centered. It's all about me. But a person who wants to hear about you, you want to hear about them, your antennas should go up. He still live with his mama. She still live with her mama. He borrowed her car. Look, the bells ought to be going off, the flags, and everything.
Well, Minister Cheryl, I just love your testimony and your words of wisdom. I love how you was talking about waiting, because a lot of us don't wait. We feel rushed, especially as you get older, or as you see your friends doing certain things. You want to kind of not compete, but be one of the Joneses.
Right.
And you don't have to run nobody's race but your own.
Absolutely.
My pastor said that on Sunday. But you don't have to run anybody's race but your own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just thank you for your testimony, and I just thank you for your wisdom, and just being able to speak to young women and men
Yes.
about the process of waiting. Just because you're waiting, you said delay is not a denial.
Right.
It's not a denial.
It's not.
It's preparation. I love that. It's preparation. I do want to show her book. You guys can see that. You can get it on her website, which is IamCherylHarris.com. Or you can get it on Amazon.com.
Yes.
And it's called Single Ladies Get the Goods, Not the Garbage. Ooh.
Yes.
Yes. So once again, I just want to thank you so much just for the opportunity for you to be here, to share your testimony with us, to just tell us about, your journey on waiting. If there's anything else you could say to young ladies out there
Yes.
who are in the process of waiting, but they're just, what would you say?
Wait. Listen,
Yes.
God makes it worth your waiting. If you wait, you don't have the regrets that I shoulda, coulda, wish I woulda. Wait on God. He makes it worth your wait. Listen, it's like she said, it's not a race against anybody else. I often see people doing that. Well, my friend got married, the guys, my brothers got married, these people got married. But are you really ready?
Yes.
Do you really want to get married? And one of the issues, young ladies, you need to learn how to cook. Please learn how to cook. Listen, for real. Okay, what do designers say? Where's the heart of the home?
Oh, wow.
The kitchen.
Yes.
And the old mother said, and I know it to be the truth.
Right.
The way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah.
All men like to eat. You want to go out, all the money that you spend going out every day, you could cook a few meals,
Yes.
have leftovers to take for lunch, or not cook the next day.
Yeah.
Because you know how much seasoning you're putting in the food. You know that your hands are clean. You know where the food is hidden.
Right.
Learn how to cook, but back to the waiting. Wait on God.
Yes.
He goes, I made a list. God read my list and said, okay, I got you. And then he added a whole bunch of wonderful extras.
Yes.
So when people see my husband and I, and they ask us 37 years, how did you do it? How is it that you still love him and in love with him? And as my daughter can say, I still like him a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's because God is first. And most importantly, I waited this time for the one that he chose.
Yes.
Rather than me doing the choosing, because that was some bad choosing. Bad choosing.
Well, Minister Cheryl, thank you so much once again to share your testimony with us. I hope you guys was inspired as much as I was, just to have a lady of wisdom. That's what I'm calling you now, lady of wisdom. Until next time, guys, remember to love, pray, and be that beacon of light for the world to see. Bye.
Bye-bye.